Hey, Average Fellas Podcast listeners, thank you for joining us today. Today's episode, I sit down and have a conversation with my wife, and we talk about travel. We talk about our honeymoon plans that never happened, and a lot more. So yeah, it was a good time. We had a great conversation, and it was just fun to sit down and include her in the podcast adventure. So yeah, thank you guys for listening.
If you're looking for the most amazing podcast ever, well, this isn't it. You're listening to the Average Fellas Podcast, guaranteed to let you down and leave you unsatisfied.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Average Fellas Podcast. I'm your host, Zodizach, coming to you live all the way from Riverside, California. Woo. Man, so yeah, good to be here. Thank you guys for joining the podcast, for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for participating with these audio experiences. Right? I think that's what I called them in my ad that I posted. I made an ad. I wanted to be like Ty Lopez, and I made an ad. Anyways, what's today's date? Today's August 31st, 2020, the era of COVID. We've all just accepted it, that it's the new normal, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the episode, this day in history. I know I haven't done one of these in a long time, but let's get into it. August 31st. In 1997, the Princess of Wales, Diana, was actually killed in a car crash shortly after midnight on August 31st in 1997. I know it's a sad story to bring up, but, you know, it's history. It's history. I thought it was a fitting story to bring up, seeing as today's episode is going to be about travel. A little bit more about the princess. She actually was a philanthropist. She did a lot of good deeds. Her two sons are now the heirs of the crown, seeing as their dad is just too old. He's probably going to die soon. So, she's also known as Lady Di. That's another cool thing about her. And you know, it was such this event, I guess it took the world by surprise, you know, everybody. I remember it being all over the news. I remember just being a huge thing to see, you know, it was crazy. A lot of people talk about, they remember where they were when Michael Jackson died. I think a lot of people remember where they were when Princess Di passed away as well. I think that's probably another one of those kind of dates. Anyways, yeah, so that happened on August 31st. So like I said, today's episode is going to be about travel. Want to get into that a little bit. I am a traveler of the world. At least I like to think I am. Or I try to be at least. Okay. Let me go over the numbers for you guys real quick. Keep you guys updated. This show has actually passed 400 downloads overall, so that's good. That means there's upwards of 40 downloads per episode. I'm proud of that. Thank you guys for participating again. Got a few people downloading in different countries. Got a few downloads now in Japan, thanks to our friend Wes, who happens to be over there. Thanks for joining the show, Wes. Really appreciate your contributions, man. It's a good time. We'll gladly have you back on again. And I just wanted to shout out all the Apple Podcasts, Spotify listeners. You guys are doing a good job. Thank you so much for downloading all of our episodes and keeping in touch with us. You guys can catch us on YouTube as well. We're on all the popular platforms for podcasts, so you know we're everywhere. If you guys want to leave a comment or maybe give me some feedback, you could email me at averagefellas@gmail.com. averagefellas@gmail.com. I think I got through it all in less than 5 minutes. Praise the Lord. Today's an interesting show. So I have a very special guest with me today. Different turn of events. I had an episode that I wanted to air, but I just feel like I feel like I need to save it. Episode I recorded with one of my cousins, and I just want to save it before I put it out there. So today I thought we'd do something a little bit different, and I would bring on a very special guest, someone near and dear to my heart, my better half, my wife, Courtney. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I practiced that line already. Hi, good morning.
I actually have cards. I'm holding up no cards for her. Just responses. Laugh now.
Hi, good morning.
Oh my goodness.
He's not holding up no.
Oh man. Yeah. What'd you think of that? Do you remember where you were when Princess Di passed away?
Well, I remember. I mean, yeah. I remember when I got the news about it from my mom. Well, I was only 9, and we lived out in the country, and I don't know, I was in the study in our office, um just playing with toys, and my mom came in to tell me. It was at night, and she came in and said to me, "Oh, Princess Diana died." And I didn't know a lot about Princess Diana. I had obviously heard her name, um but I didn't really know a lot about her. But I remember my mom telling me um, when that happened. And then I was really into Beanie Babies.
Oh yeah, I remember
And
those.
yeah, and Beanie Babies, the company made a bear after Princess Di that I think was just called Princess. Um, yeah, in memory of her. Yeah.
That definitely dates us. That definitely dates us too that much. Some of these kids don't know about this history. They don't know. Yeah, so this episode I want to talk about travel a little bit. I feel like you and I have a weird situation that we found ourselves in as newlyweds.
Yeah, a little bit.
So there's always like a trajectory of, you get engaged and then you get married and then you go on a honeymoon. That's, typically how I thought it worked out.
Well, and then you go back to your normal life, you know. After your honeymoon, then you get back to your normal life with your new spouse. Things just keep going like normal now.
Yeah, exactly. So so for us, it kind of, well, obviously COVID happened. Obviously COVID sort of ruined our plans. So yeah, today I want to talk about travel because our plans were ruined because of COVID-19. We got married, and literally weeks after we got married, the country shut down. And we couldn't, we originally wanted to go to Thailand. That was our original plan. And then we seen the travel restrictions, international travel restrictions happen. Then after that, we seen the rest of the world not want to take American citizens.
Right.
So and then we were like, all right, well, let's just go to Vegas. We could just go to Vegas. And then we seen every other state shut down. And then we thought, well, why don't we just go to Disneyland? It's 45 minutes away. We can go to Disneyland whenever, 2 days there or something. At least we can commemorate our wedding, right? And then Disneyland shut down.
And Disneyland's closed. We probably still could go back to Vegas, but I also am confident we would get COVID if we did that.
Actually, last night it was funny. We were getting ready. We were thinking about what we're gonna do for dinner, and then we both realized that it had been a year since we'd been engaged. When we got engaged a year ago, and the memory showed up on Facebook. Actually, not the memory of us getting engaged, but the result of us being engaged from our engagement trip, pretty much.
Right.
So we were trying to do some mental math on when exactly did we get engaged, and that was pretty funny because I mean, we saw all the Vegas stuff. We actually watched our engagement video. We took a stroll down memory lane and we watched all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, oh, I wish I could go again.
Yeah. It was a really good trip. Mainly because I didn't have to plan it at all.
Well, I hope that's what I could do for this. We can do for this next trip. You know, I like planning trips because I'm interested in understanding. Like, I want to go. I mean, before I go someplace, I need to have at least 4 or 5 things figured out. Because if you don't hit the ground running, then you totally miss opportunities. You know, when you're traveling, you need to make the most of every experience. You know.
Yeah. But when you told me that when you went to Korea, you didn't have your return ticket yet, and I don't appreciate that.
Well, that was a different. That was a different type of. There was a different strategy. It's more of a backpacking experience. So I didn't want to. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to try to stretch the dollar as far as I could. That's why I didn't have a return ticket yet. And I mean,
Right. No, I understand it. I just don't can't live that way.
I mean, obviously it's different. Obviously we're married now, so it's different. You know, I can't just think for myself anymore.
You can't just fly off to Korea with a one-way ticket.
Exactly. So I can. I mean, obviously the next trip, I want to make sure that we have a lot of stuff. Like, you know, I want to have everything covered as far as like places to stay, air travel, return. You know, back and forth. Okay.
Well, but like that's one of the things that was so cool about our plans for Thailand is that we kind of already knew when exactly we wanted to go. We wanted it to be in June because that was going to be before their like monsoon season, but also it could have been a month that I took off of work.
Yeah.
You know, I could have arranged that. And then just super affordable, like in terms of places to stay.
Value for your
And we
dollar.
already had plans of like everything that we wanted to do too.
Yeah, and you know, now I think about it, I probably would have gotten fired if I would have taken time off to go on a honeymoon.
I guess that's probably true, but I mean,
Whatever.
look what happened.
Um. Yeah, but no, the Thailand to me, the reason why I was in favor of Thailand was because the value that you get for your dollar as like an American traveler, it benefits you in some places that you go to because your dollar is worth more money. So I mean, like when I went to Europe, it's upside down. You're paying more for every
Right.
experience. You're paying like 30% more for everything when I went to Europe. But when I went to Asia, everything was like 30% less. And then the further southeast, I guess you get into like the certain Asian countries, it benefits you as an American traveler. Your dollar does, really. I know Canada, they would do that a lot to us because when I was working at the hotel, all the Canadians would come down towards California to go to Mexico. They're snowbirds. That's what they called themselves, snowbirds, where they'd leave the snowy Canada, you know, whatever place they're from, and they'd take I-5 all the way down towards Arizona, New Mexico, some people
Oh,
even
wow.
in Mexico. And they would always stop in and they'd be like, come on, man, like do me a favor. You know, my dollar doesn't work as much as it does in Canada, you know, because their dollar is worth less than ours. Yeah, so
Okay.
but they were always asking for a deal. Anyways, yeah, Thailand was. I wanted to do Thailand too because there's a lot of experiences that were attractive to me. Obviously, I wanted to see like I want to try a lot of the food.
Yeah. I really do too. I wanted to have, remember there was a like hole in the wall place in Bangkok that serves like the best pad thai.
Yeah.
I was like, I definitely want to try that. But also just getting like stuff from their markets, like the
Hmm.
markets in Bangkok, would be really cool too, like durian.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be. I would. That's to me is an experience that those are the kind of experiences I like when you go to like the market to get like a local, you know, a fruit that was
Yeah.
harvested locally that is from that area and like you know obviously it's you know, I think now in the era of COVID would be like a little I'm a little suspicious of doing that, but
Right. Right.
but I mean, obviously, anyway, I don't know if I would go to an open air market to get food anymore. Like, it's just kind of scary,
Yeah, that's true.
especially like
But
a farmer's market here in the U.S. I think would be even scary to even go to. I don't know, weird.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but if I was in Thailand, I would still hit up like no, not necessarily an open air market. The one that we were looking at wasn't an open air market. It
Yeah,
was
that's
like
right.
a
It's
what?
like a mall, right?
Yeah. Um, but I would still hit up that kind of place and get some of those foods that are not common here, like durian. That's my
Yeah,
main thing that I wanted to try is durian.
the uncommon things that you can't get back home.
I mean, we could get durian here, but it's not, it's like native to Thailand, I think.
Yeah, it's more of like I guess the experience overall of getting it closer to the source, or it's just
Yeah.
you're in a different country. You want to,
Well, but I mean, yeah, that's part of it, but also remember when for your birthday we went to that like Asian market in Livermore
yeah,
and we got dessert at that one little dessert place and it was a dessert that had durian in it, remember?
I think so. I think I remember.
And I asked them, "Is it fresh durian?" And she said, "Oh yeah." And I mean, I wouldn't know, but with all the stories that I've heard about durian, it's supposed to be like this overwhelming smell, like a really like overwhelming taste, like blue cheese almost.
Yeah,
And that's not what the dessert tasted like, remember?
yeah,
The best we could pick out was like faintly there was like an onion taste, like faint onion,
yeah,
and it didn't smell like anything. So I'm not I don't know. I just think it would be more like closer to the experience of durian to get it in a country that it's native to.
yeah. No, I agree. I completely agree. I'm I just like all those little kind of things. Like when you go travel, you find, I don't know. I think you enjoy every experience more because you're doing it a little bit different on a different part of the globe. It just makes it, I don't know,
Yeah,
it makes the experience just better, for me.
right.
And that's really why I like to travel. I just want to see new things and like just, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it opens your mind to like a different way of life and like a different part of the world. Like it's just you get more knowledge of other cultures.
That's desperately needed today. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
that's
man.
true.
I'm looking for speaking about like more knowledge of other cultures and stuff. So if you guys in Riverside, you guys are locals and you know any good cuisine, please tell us where to go. Tell us where to go. We're looking, we're searching, and we haven't found. Well, there's a few places that we really enjoy here.
Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to say over there
I'm just
because
looking for
there are some
more.
good restaurants
There
that
are
we
some good
like.
ones. I mean, there are some good ones. I'll shout out one of my favorites, and obviously it's Isabella's, the cupcake place.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
So,
kimchi changa.
oh yes, kimchi changa too. That's my favorite. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I want like sweet treats. That's probably why I'm just stuck on the bakery.
Right.
No,
They do have some really, really good maple bacon cupcake.
oh my god, for reals. Uh, yeah. So, anyways, traveling, just something that's just really I've always been interested. And when we were planning our trip for our honeymoon, we thought, well, let's just let's I want to do something cool. I don't want to like go to Mexico. Like I can always go to Mexico. We can always go to Mexico. It's like right next door to us. And it's cheap to
Yes.
go to Mexico. Like $500, you could have the time of your life in Mexico. So not that I'm not hating. I'm not hating on Mexico. I love the experiences there, but it's in your backyard. It's like going to Alaska. It's sort of one of those things that you never. Well, I feel like unless you never realize how beautiful it is until you actually go. But I always feel like I can probably go those seem like I can probably go there more frequent than I could go, overseas.
Right. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's why I was thinking, I was like, wow, Thailand would be great. We would be able to do it on a not a cheap budget, but our experience would be overall like better. The quality of our experience, the type of hotel that we'd stay in would be even better because, for the price of your rent here, you could stay in like this amazing 5-star, just beautiful hotel in the city, in the
Right.
capital city, and have all the, amenities to go with it. And to me, that was very, attractive for the price. How much you're gonna get. You could stay I think it's something like 3 weeks. We wanted to book. It was like 3 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks to a month somewhere.
Actually, let me Google this right now. I'm a frequent Orbitz person. I was an Orbitz lifer, so I always use your stuff. Matter of fact, talking about travel, we get to go to
Big Bear.
Big Bear next weekend, which will be great. Spend some time up there. Obviously, it's not like we're traveling abroad. It's like only 45 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
But
beautiful.
still, we need a dang vacation.
I know,
We
right?
got full on married and didn't do anything except stay home
We moved in
every
together.
day, all day, non. Not that I'm complaining.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my goodness. Well, let me do. I'm gonna say. So we'll say if we left on the 31st, we'll say a month. Say you booked a month in Bangkok, right? I'm gonna put one room. I'll put 2 adults, and we'll add a flight. We'll do the package, the vacation package, the flight plus the hotel. And we're leaving LA, Los Angeles International. All right. Departing would be, we'll say the 1st of September, coming back the 28th. Yeah. The 27th. And I mean, I typically fly economy coach because I'm cheap when it comes to my airfare. So, what are your preferences?
Well, okay, I've never flown first class ever.
Obviously.
It's on my bucket list. But for a long flight like this is already going to be like
This is a 16
a chunk of
12
change
hour.
for us to pull off the whole trip. So, I mean, obviously we're going to go economy, but we're going to pay for the extra leg room. I don't care how much it is. I don't care how many legs of our flight. We're getting extra leg room.
That's it. You heard it.
That's it. No, I will not negotiate
Will not.
with terrorists.
Well, it's all good.
We're both too tall. We are too dang tall. Try and get in those other seats, those regular seats.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I did the Googling. I did the work for you, so you didn't have to, right? Imagine leaving tomorrow out of LA International Airport, right? Heading straight over to Bangkok, right? For a month. 1 month, all right? Let me see here. So you have the Mandarin Hotel, okay? I'm going to click on this. It says it's a 5-star. That's the Orbitz review. I'll give it a 5-star. Oh, it's 4.2 out of 5. I'm sorry. 4.2 out of 5 stars on Orbitz, okay?
Mandarin Hotel.
Exactly. Okay. So
in
Bangkok. Now, let me explain, ladies and gentlemen. You are staying for an entire month, okay? An entire month. And this includes your flight, which is 2 round-trip tickets, plus your hotel room for 25 nights, okay? This is what taxes and fees, okay?
Okay.
We're going to select a deluxe room. . Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. My internet is so slow.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. And then we're okay. Select.
what
It's
is
not
it?
it's the internet. It's taking a minute. All right. So after everything with two travelers, like I said, 25
Oh my
nights.
gosh, we know.
Your total trip after taxes comes out to $3,221. $3,221. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
That's for a vacation of a lifetime. That's pretty cheap, for the vacation of a lifetime. You're talking 25 days in another country, a beautiful country. You get to have all those experiences. You get to spend enough time in one place to really kind of feel the heartbeat of the city. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. And plus, like, that was for what? Like, the best hotel, like,
That
one of the best hotels, deluxe room stuff. I mean, we would be staying in, like, probably a deluxe type of room anywhere that we stayed. Because I remember when we were looking into hotels and different places to stay in Thailand, that a lot of their beds are small.
mm-hmm.
And if you pay more, you get a room with a bigger bed, which again, I will not negotiate on.
No, I agree too. I agree. I mean, if I'm going on vacation for my honeymoon, I definitely want to have a little bit of the luxe life. You know what I'm saying? I like a little bit of that.
Yeah,
When we went to Vegas, I mean, almost any time in Vegas, you're gonna have a little bit of that luxe life. Vegas does that for you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They want you to come back. They want you to feel like you got pampered.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I need right now. I need that.
I know. Me too.
Oh man. I know what you guys are thinking, like, well, but you've been home for 6 months now or whatever. But yeah, that's the point. We've been home for 6 months
But actually, we've been home for 50 years.
for an infinite amount of time.
No, we're actually, to be honest, having like a really good time being at home together. Like a really good time. And like, I'm glad that this is how it turned out,
This is how it's
honestly. I mean,
going.
I wish we could have gone on honeymoon. I wish there wasn't a pandemic. But like, I'm glad that this is one of the results is that Zach and I are just home together all the time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we can talk. Maybe we can talk about that one time or another time on the podcast. How
Yeah.
we're
Love
newlyweds.
in the time of Corona.
Yep, love in the time of Corona. What did I came up with? I wanted to write a book. Actually, I was going to hire a ghostwriter, and I was going to write a book on marriage. And it was going to be
Uh-huh.
about basically how we got married and then we got locked in. We had to lock down and basically just not go anywhere forever. It's just I don't know if people had that
Yeah.
experience when they got married. They just ended up getting you get married and 2 weeks later
Right.
you're not allowed to go anywhere. You just have to stay home together.
Well, so I think it's going to be interesting in like a few years. I hope that a researcher looks at that,
Yeah.
like looks at, I don't know, very like open-ended kind of data, like asks the couples about relationship satisfaction, like things like that, and compare it to couples who didn't have to deal with
Yeah.
um, coronavirus to see like what effect it had. Because I think for our relationship, it just like I think it's made us. It sounds like in a bad way, but it's not in a bad way. But it makes us feel like we've been married longer than we
I know,
have.
right? Yeah. Exactly.
But like not in a bad way though. Like not like a
No, I get you.
yeah.
But it's just like so we totally forgot that it had been exactly a year since we'd been engaged. We got engaged. six
Yeah.
months later we got married, and 6 months after that we're back at our engagement kind of anniversary, and it took us by surprise. We were both looking at each other, and we're shocked. We're like, oh my god, we are terrible.
I can't believe we forgot that, but also, gosh dang it, a year ago we were in freaking Vegas having like the best vacation ever.
That's all it
and
reminded
now
me of.
we just been stuck in our apartment.
Oh gosh. Yeah, when we were in Vegas. We had a lot of good food there. It was awesome little adventure that we took. That's to me, that's another main part about traveling is just I guess the food. Just really experiencing what it tastes like. Just different things. I will try. Like when I was in Korea, I tried the blood sausage there. That's like pretty. That's common to them. A lot of street vendors sell it and stuff. So for sure, I'll jump in, and I tried some of it. Obviously wasn't my thing, but like if it's a common thing that the people of that particular area eat, I want to try it. I want to get in there and see what's up with all the spices and all that goodness.
Did I tell you I've tried blood sausage before?
No.
You want to know where I tried it?
Where? Yeah, of course I do. Please tell me.
Okay. When the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando, Florida was first opening up.
Yeah.
Like it opened up in like June, I think, of 2008. Something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I went in August, so just 2 months after it opened. Like I'd been saving up for years for it, right? Excuse me. And one of the things that I did that I booked for myself while I was there was like a breakfast experience in the Three Broomsticks, which is the restaurant that was in that part of the park.
Nice.
And so you could choose when you got there, you could choose if you wanted like a traditional American breakfast or a traditional English breakfast. And so, of course, just to keep in with the experience, I chose the traditional English breakfast, and it came with some of that. And I did try, I knew what it was beforehand. I was like, I'm here, I'm going to try everything on the plate,
Yeah.
even if I don't think I'll like it, just part of the experience. I did not like it, in fact. But, yeah, no, it was super cool.
We actually did the same thing too. I think for both of us, that's kind of a big thing about travel, experiencing, the different foods. Obviously, like it's just, I don't know, it's a good part of it. It's the best part of it. One of the best parts of it. But when we went to Disneyland, you took me to Galaxy's Edge for my birthday. And we literally tried pretty much almost everything. Like we went through almost wherever there was opportunity for us to try food, we would order things like so we can try more of it, but not necessarily like, we would share all of our foods so that we can try like everything.
Right. Well, we made sure that we ordered something different from each other, and then we shared it so that we could both try like as much as possible.
Yeah. And when we went to the cantina, that was awesome too. Yeah. Took care of about half the menu. So we need to go back. We need to go back and finish the cantina.
I know.
And also the breakfast place. I forgot what the the diner that's over there, the outpost, the diner outpost.
Yeah.
I want to go back there and try some more of the stuff. I had their breakfast, and what I really liked about it is they used purple potatoes and they use these weird looking mushrooms when they made the breakfast.
Yeah.
Their breakfast little skillets, and I just really appreciated it. It was good. It was delicious, So, Galaxy's Edge, amazing food.
Yeah, no, we had that was a really good time.
Yeah.
We did like pretty much everything there was to do in that section of the park. So, and you got your lightsaber, and I cried.
Man. I know. It was awesome. It was great. The funny thing though is like when the lightsaber lit up, everybody in the because we went into the workshop and like you're in there with like 12 other people. I mean, most of them are kids. I'm a big kid, so and, I'm getting my lightsaber, and at the end.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I just need to say I don't actually agree with that. Most of them were not kids.
Are their parents?
Most of the people in there were adults. Some of the adults brought kids,
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
but
true.
most of the people in there were adults.
Well, the people that were receiving lightsabers at the time, I know
I would
everybody.
say 50%. I would say half and half, maybe adults and kids, or
Okay.
maybe 40% kids, 60% adults. But
Well,
anyway,
it was a moment where like I looked around and I seen the kids around me filled with hope, and they all had blue and green lightsabers. And then I looked around and I seen all the adults, and we all had red lightsabers, and we're like, "Kid, one day you will realize the power of the dark side."
oh, that's true. That's true. Remember the kid that was like right to your left, I think, built the exact one I would have built if I was getting a lightsaber. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I'm sorry. How could I remember that when I had my own lightsaber?
Yeah, that's
Um, yeah. So, we're waiting actually right now. I'm supposed to be getting my birth certificate in the mail. So,
I think it'll be here too.
we're doing some ancestry stuff, and like it just, we're putting together some documents, and I'm waiting to get a copy of my birth certificate. Speaking about that, we had a weird conversation about IDs this morning because we have to. I had my passport stolen when I moved down here. So, they took my passport. It had valuable information. I already submitted my lost and stolen passport, claim, and now I'm trying to re-up on the passport because we got to get ready to relaunch out into the world. So I don't know. I guess we're trying. The hope is that maybe we'll be able to go on a honeymoon sometime soon. One day.
Yeah, well, maybe not sometime soon.
Well, not sometime
What do
soon,
you
but
mean by soon?
the thing is, I feel like it'll take a lifetime for my passport to get to me. Just because the government and how slow it is. So I figure if I start on it now, by the time I get it, there might be some better travel restrictions. They might be loosened up a little bit, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. I want to talk about travel restrictions really quick. So I was looking actually at what the CDC says for travel recommendations. And I thought this was pretty interesting because there's a map. If you go to the website, you can see a map there. It's a COVID-19 travel recommendations by destination on the CDC's website. And if you look at it, it's pretty interesting. There's a scale, and it goes from gray, which means no data available. And there's a light-colored gray that says no travel health notice. It means that you can probably go there. There's no no risk. Then there's yellow, which is risk is low. Then there's a more orange type of color, and its risk is moderate. And then there's like this darker orange color, and that's risk is high. And basically the entire globe is orange right now.
Really?
Yeah, with the exception of New Zealand, which we've heard great things about. They have low risk. They're a yellow color. They're considered low risk, which is what we've heard a lot about. And the global news has said about New Zealand, how they've been pretty good at being able to keeping their COVID situation under control. And guess who else made the low risk list?
Who?
Thailand.
Oh, snap. But they're not going to let us go there.
I don't think they will let us go there. Okay, so
it would be dumb of them if they did.
Some of these countries that are at low risk, you have Thailand, you have Malaysia, which is moderate, and you have Brunei. I don't know how you say the last name. I don't know how you say the last. I don't know how you say this name of this country. Jesus.
Their last.
I don't know.
Everyone in their country has the country's last. Their last.
Oh yeah. So it's just there's a few spots here on this thing that are yellow. North Korea. I've got to ask you, what color do you think North Korea is?
Oh, of course they're gray. There's not enough data.
There's no data available for North Korea.
Right. Of course there's not.
And then Taiwan, there's also no data available. Mm-hmm. You know why there's no data available? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Oh, I thought you were gonna tell.
No, nope. Not gonna tell you. Not gonna tell you.
Man. You always have a way of asking me questions or telling me things where I don't know which one you're trying to do. Like, you know how often I ask you, are you telling me that or are you asking me that? I feel like I say that to you like at least once a day because you just have this way of delivering information to me where I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to get from me, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think I've done that a few times. I've done that a few times to my guests, and I could tell because they don't know what to do. They're like, "Is that a question or an accusation?" I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, you do that to me all the time. I just go, "Oh, I'm I'm not confused. He's just confusing." And so I ask you what you're trying to say.
Oh man. Of course, the United States is just a giant orange, just an orange,
Or
orange. I mean, the entire world is orange pretty much at this point. So the CDC's recommendation is pretty much don't go anywhere.
right.
And the risk is high. It's level 3 for everybody pretty much, except for the exception of those 3 or 4 countries. Oh man, it's a sad sight.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and right now, especially, it says since I guess since March, any of the passport like agencies that are used to reissue those and stuff, um, they cut back significantly on their workforce. So basically, all in person. It basically says that they've temporarily suspended expedited passport processing, so you can't expedite your passport, which you used to be able to do. It took about two
Right.
months instead of 6. And then for customers applying for like the only way you can do is you could apply at a I guess there's some facilities that are accepting still, but they generally it's renewal by mail right now. And it says that our passport agencies and centers, we've restricted in-person services and expediting passport processing. So you can't, I guess, I don't know, it's kind of confusing. Maybe you can't go in person.
I mean, I doubt that you can.
Yeah. That
But we'll go on a trip and it might turn into a joint graduation and anniversary or honeymoon, I mean. And it, heck, I don't know, and anniversary. I have no idea. Um, but like, we'll go on a trip. It just,
slash vacation
yeah,
eventually.
yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest. Like it's sad to say, but I think that we're outside of the range of even being able to call it a honeymoon.
Yeah.
At this point. So like,
That ship sailed.
I love you,
But
but I just don't think that it even feels like it would be a honeymoon anymore.
no, I agree. I agree. But we'll have a cheers on that trip.
Yeah.
We'll cheers on that trip,
Yeah, and I think, if it's possible, we should definitely like do something for our first anniversary, like maybe stay at um the mission or something.
That would be cool. Oh man.
Thailand is was our choice, our number one choice for our honeymoon. And the way that we chose it was we kept throwing ideas to each other that were just kind of like a little random. Um, and I was looking at places where you could just have your honeymoon in one location, like a resort, essentially,
Yeah.
right? And I was looking for like something tropical, which isn't really normally my jam,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to have a relaxing time.
Yeah, exactly. The Lux life.
And so, yeah, the Lux life. And so he was like, he threw a couple, like, what were some of the ideas you threw at me?
Vietnam for sure was one of them.
Yeah, Vietnam. Um,
Vietnam. I mean, obviously, I mean, I like any of the tropical parts of like Mexico, but for
mhm,
me, San Jose, Costa Rica is like a big thing on my list because I'm a big Jurassic Park fan, and I like tropical
right.
places like Hawaii and Mexico. Have been some of my favorite places to vacation. I love that like element of just like leisure, tropical life. You know, like that. That to me,
Yeah.
that speaks to me. I vibe on that very well.
And one of the ideas that I threw at him was like renting a cabin in the mountains somewhere for like a couple of weeks and like doing a spa, like going to a spa, kind of thing. And I also suggested Egypt,
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
um, but only because of like the educational,
No, yeah, for sure. That
yeah. And so we didn't really have anything like neither of us felt very strongly about like the other one's
yeah, exactly.
ideas, really. And so I just opened up one night we were on Skype together. Do you remember this?
I'm not sure. Well, you have to tell me more.
You'll remember. You'll remember. So we're on Skype together because we were long distance. And I was like, I'm just going to open up a list of all the countries in the world. And we're going to go down the list alphabetically.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember?
I think I remember part of this. Yeah.
And like we literally like went down the list and we like stopped at some where I would be like, "Oh, Germany, that's interesting." Or like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Switzerland." Like, well, not Switzerland. But yeah, Switzerland actually. But we went down alphabetically and I saw Thailand and I was like, "Oh, man, that'd be cool." And his face just like lit up. He was like, "What? Thailand? Yes. Yes, I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
in."
That's well. It is a bucket list destination for me. I mean, Vietnam is too, but Thailand is one of them for me. Um, I don't know. I just find those places to. I mean, every time I put on a, travel channel or something, I usually find those places attract me more and more. And I think after my South Korea trip, it became more like of a I want to uncover this more, kind of like I want to travel this part of the world a little bit more, go deeper into it, and I feel like that was like the next
Right.
step because how do I say this? I guess it's just the American history, American history with Vietnam, and that's something I wanted to go, visit.
Well, yeah.
My grandfather was in the Korean War. I thought that would be interesting to go check out, and I did go to a lot of those historical places when I was in South Korea. And then I thought it'd be cool just to check that one out too. But I don't know. I think it's the food that attracts me more and more. And it's got to get spicier.
Yeah.
It's got to get more just in your just being that those spices. I don't know. It just attracts me more and more.
Well, one thing for me though, in thinking about going on a vacation, like we also wanted to be somewhere for like a month. Like that
Yeah.
would have been cool. And if we were going to be somewhere like long term, like longer than a couple of weeks, it has to be a place where I feel comfortable eating the food.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like I could definitely do that in Thailand. Like I like Thai food and it seemed like just a super cool place where we could do educational things like
Yeah.
tour the temples in Bangkok,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but also do like adventurous things like meet elephants,
Yeah.
see like Muay Thai
That
fighting,
would be amazing.
like try adventurous foods, but then also relax. Like we were planning to tour the whole country of Thailand,
Yeah.
to go to like stay a week in Bangkok, go like somewhere else.
To
Now I can't even
Phuket.
remember the names of the places. Koh Lanta, that was one.
That was right.
Like essentially stay at like a resort, like bungalow type of situation for a week and then move somewhere else and then move somewhere else. So like we were planning to be all over the country, which was going to be super cool.
Yeah. And the cool thing too would have been like Thailand is so like the value for your dollar goes a long way there. So it's just not. It's not like you'd be like, oh my god. It's I don't know I don't know how to say this. Like you're not going to have that experience in the United States. You're not going to go to the Bahamas and get the same experience. You're going to pay 3 times the price if you're going to go to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to pay 3 times the price to go to Hawaii. Oh my gosh, it's so ridiculously expensive to go to Hawaii.
Well, yeah, and you're also going to feel like you're just another traveler, like trying to get by on an expensive vacation, right? But like I think on your honeymoon, you don't want to feel that way. You
No.
want to feel like you have the means to do whatever you want to do, like stay in the nice places, like have the cool experiences,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's your honeymoon and not just any other vacation.
Well, how about you? That's the way I want a vacation. Like it's always my honeymoon. Hey.
I know you.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Hey, if we stick to Vegas and Thailand, we can.
Yeah, I know,
We
right?
can
Exactly. And
always
Mexico,
vacation.
Thailand, Mexico, and and Vegas. We could live the life.
Right.
Um, yeah, but no, place like I want another bucket list place. What bucket list places do you have? Like, name some places you'd want to travel. Bucket list.
Um, I really want to go to Scotland, and that's the very like generic answer, I feel. But I've been able to like prove my lineage coming from Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of the only other country I've been able to prove lineage from.
Mm-hmm.
I think going to Wales would be cool too, because I know that I come from Wales. I just haven't been able to prove that.
Yeah.
So, like, that would be cool too. Um, I'd love to go to like kind of any Scandinavian country.
Yeah, me too. I definitely would. Yeah.
Yeah, again, also because of an ancestry thing, but also like that's just my jam, like a
Yeah.
colder like place with that kind of history is like somewhere that I would want to go.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I've never been to England, and again, for the same reason, I've always wanted to go to England. So those would be some of my main ones. Um, I would also really love to go to Israel someday if it was ever, like safe enough to go. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places I'd love to go to Italy. I'd love to go to Greece. I'd
Yeah.
love to go to places with a lot of history.
Yeah.
Um,
Like China. China
yeah.
would be cool. I think China would be cool to go to too.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. I agree. And Egypt. I
Yeah.
still think
Egypt and
Egypt would be
China.
super cool.
For me, I think but obviously Costa Rica is like one of my bucket list places I want to go to, just because I feel
Uh-huh.
like it's probably, I don't know, I feel like the beach in Costa Rica to me is the most romantic idea of heaven on earth, as far as like the way the landscape is. Um, I don't know. That's just, I don't know. Like I said, that's my vibe. But I did London, Wales, Ireland when I was in high school, and that was
Yeah.
awesome. And I chose that because of the historical aspect of it. When I was a kid growing up,
Yeah.
my mom and I spent a lot of time going over like the medieval ages. I was homeschooled for a year in that time period stuck out to me because my mom spent a lot of that, time going through that history with me. And it was one of my first choices just because of the amount of history, just, I don't know, it was just a cool spot. And that was my first choice of going, traveling abroad internationally. I chose that trip.
Yeah, that is a trip I would love to go on. Sally's been to Ireland, my sister. She's been to Ireland. She went when she was like 14, I want to say.
Nice.
And she like loved it. You know, she's like obsessed with Ireland now and everything Irish.
Mm.
Hence Fergus's name,
Oh my
Fergus,
gosh.
because she went to Carrickfergus Castle when she was in Ireland.
Nice.
So,
The one thing I will say about my trip to Ireland that I regret, I pretended to kiss the Blarney Stone because I was afraid of all the germs.
I know you told me that, and I shamed you for it, and I will shame you again. I can't believe you were there and you didn't actually kiss the Blarney Stone.
I put my hand on the stone where
Listen,
everybody would kiss, and then I put my
I
hand.
don't want to share germs with everybody who's a stranger in the whole world either, but you and Sally are the same way about this, is that when you have like once in a lifetime opportunities, you'll just be like, "Oh no, I can't. Oh no, I can't." I'm like, I don't get that. I'm not a very big risk taker,
Yeah.
but when there's a once in a lifetime opportunity, I'm going to try whatever the thing is.
There was this funny moment. We were actually, I think it was the Target in Moreno Valley. Is that correct? We were at the Target in Moreno Valley. And it was in the beginning.
Yeah,
okay, at the beginning of the beginning of the quarantine, Tiger King
right.
was pretty much king on Netflix. Everybody was watching Tiger King. We were all going wild over Tiger King.
Captivated by it.
Captivated by
the whole
it.
country.
So I'm literally we went to Target to, I forgot what we're getting. We're at Target and we're just browsing around and we're done doing our shop, making our way to the front. And I see this person in front of me that looks really familiar. Like I've seen this person. I think maybe maybe we knew each other from who knows where, high school or something. They just look so familiar to us, right? We couldn't put our thumb on it at first. We're just like, oh, I think I know this person. Did they go to our church? Like, who is this? Who ends up standing right in front of us? Tell them.
The person from Tiger King who got their hand eaten by a tiger.
So the person who's standing right in front of us is, I don't know if you watched Tiger King, the first episode, somebody gets their arm eaten by a tiger, okay? Yeah, that person was standing right in front of us in Target in Moreno Valley. Blow my mind. I was just standing there. I'm like, oh my God, no way. I can't believe it's them.
Yeah. They're standing right there, and I just turned to Zach, and I'm like, do you see who that person is? Do you see who that person is? Look at their hand, look at their hand, look at their hand. And he just started freaking out. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're right in front of us.
Sure enough, when she said look at her hand, what Courtney was saying is look at to the absence of the hand. That's what she was telling me. Okay, look at her hand. There's no hand, and the first thing I thought about was like, yeah, that's crazy. Tiger King person got their hand eaten by a tiger.
No, I knew it was them. Almost immediately when I saw their face, I looked down to their hand and was like, oh my God, that person is like blowing up America right now, and they're right in front of us.
Literally, Twitter was hot. This person is all over Twitter, like as a hero. Like, I can't believe they just got their arm eaten and they decide to go back to work in the same place.
Well, one thing I'll say is this person and the people with them were not wearing masks. That I will say. But anyway, so Zach was like freaking out, and I said, say hi, go say hi. And he's like, I can't. No, I can't. And I'm like, I don't understand. You and my sister, just these once in a lifetime opportunities, and you're both like, I can't, but I can't do it. And I'm like, I don't care about saying something to them, but like if you're not going to, I'm going to because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. But don't you want to be the one that does it? And he's like, but I can't, but I can't. And I'm like, I don't know, just say hi. He's like, what should I say? What should I say? I don't say hi. I like the show, or I don't know. Hi.
I think
That
I
was a super cool show. Have a good day. Just, I don't know. For a moment in time, they'll know that you existed and you had a conversation with them.
yeah.
He was freaking out. He almost didn't do it.
But what did I end up saying though?
That you said hi. I'm a really big fan.
That's all I said.
I think.
I think it
Isn't
was.
that what you said?
I think I said coolest person ever. I think I said hey. I think I said hi, big fan. You're the coolest person ever. Have a nice day.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that is what you said.
I was starstruck.
And they were really nice. Like they were just like, "Oh, thank
I
you."
just chuckled and laughed and said thank you.
Like, "Thanks, man. Have a good day," or whatever. And
Yeah.
that was it. Super cool.
I mean, this person was
But
buying normal human stuff too.
right,
This was
right.
like this was
With their like family.
a viral, like famous person who got famous because of, obviously Tiger King. They're just like a hero to everybody that's in lockdown and stuff, and they happen to be right in front of me, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
they eat Cheerios just like me.
Yeah, I actually don't remember what they were buying, but it was a lot of like kids.
I think it was
stuff.
diapers. I saw diapers.
Yeah, I remember diapers and but other like toys, like kid stuff. I think.
Yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, you would have missed out on that story having that opportunity. But see, but that's what I'm gonna bring it around for you. That's what is I think we have in common about going on vacations or having like visiting another place is that like we want those experiences that we feel like we can only get from that place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. You're a professional at this. I need to have you on the show more often. I'm gonna bring it around for you. Damn, y'all hear that?
No, it's just because I've been teaching college students, right? So I always have to know how does everything I'm saying, how did I get here? What's it related to? Let me go back and make the connection for them in case they didn't do it on their own.
See, that's what I'm lacking on the show. I never follow up or bring it back full circle. I just think it's whatever. Anyways.
Well, you do a good job on the show. You do a great job.
Thank you.
You have fans.
I got a fan. I got a fan in my wife. That's awesome. Y'all hear that?
Number one fan.
Believing in me. Believing in my dreams. All right. Anyways, yeah. I think we talked about a lot of stuff today.
Yeah. Well, why don't you tell like the different countries you've been to? What are all the different countries you've been to?
I've been to London, Wales, Ireland. Okay, that was my first big trip. And then it was first travel. Other countries, Mexico, South Korea.
Yeah.
I did the Hawaii trip. That was a good one. And then I've done like various United States trips too. It's a different one. Basically, some of the big cities here in the U.S. Obviously, everything California is relatively easy to get to for us. But like, some of the bigger cities, obviously Salt Lake, Seattle, Portland, some of the staples of America, Atlanta, those places, just, I don't know. I just find it interesting to go to those places and experience it all,
Yeah, totally.
But like I said, for as far as like bucket lists, Costa Rica is one of my bucket list places still. Santorini is one of my bucket list places.
Yeah,
another place is Morocco is another bucket
Oh
list
yeah.
place. I think there's something. I don't know. I'm just attracted to like the whole entire like city by the sea sort of scape. That to me
Yeah.
is like attractive and like relaxing. I don't know. I just being near the water on
Yeah.
vacation. But when I was in Korea, we were in the middle, the heart of the city, you know, and that to me was great because every turn I took, every street I went down offered a new opportunity, you know. So it
Right.
just just really depends on where you're going. But yeah, those are
Yeah.
my places I want to go to. Those are my bucket list dreams. But I think there's plenty of history there too. You know, plenty of history in those places.
No, totally. I mean, I like have been to a lot of different places in the United States. I've been to a lot of different states. And like I hope to go to every state, you know, at some point in my life, even
Yeah,
if it's just passing through. I hope to do that. I've gone through a lot, but not all. So, I've been to for Paris
hey.
for like an 8-hour layover.
Well, I didn't count
And
my layovers, but yeah.
no, but we left the airport and went to the Eiffel Tower.
Nice.
And like that's all that we really had time to do because we had to come back and then go through customs because we were on the way back. Wait, yeah, we were on the way back from Africa. So we were going from San Francisco to New Jersey to Paris to the Ivory Coast, Cote
Yeah.
d'Ivoire. So we were on the way back. So we didn't have time to do a whole lot. So I've kind of been to Paris. It would be cool to go back and actually have like a full
Yeah,
experience
definitely
there,
for
but
sure.
it's cool. I have been to the Eiffel Tower. So,
Yeah, me too. I would definitely love to go to Paris. That'd be great. You know what's funny? This morning we were talking about passports, and isn't the whole entire customs thing is just really strange? It's such a weird process.
yeah.
It's like you're traveling. Well, just airports, international airports are strange. The vibe you get from them, I always feel like a criminal, no matter what country I'm going to. I'm always like, oh God, they're gonna find me. They're gonna find me. They're gonna stop me and find me. Um, but yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, the whole entire passport situation is a little strange. I don't know. I feel like what countries there are some countries that I maybe get the bad vibe where I feel like maybe I might get set up for something. Like when I was in China leaving through customs, right, they stopped me because I had a bunch of coins, loose change at the bottom of my backpack, and I didn't
Uh-huh.
realize that was all the loose coins from from like Korea and stuff like that. Just like loose change. I don't exchange
Yeah.
I just give the bills that I know will cover the amount and whatever loose change at the end of the trip I take home for souvenirs. Kind of like it's just a weird thing I've done.
Right.
And they pretty much pulled me aside and questioned me and asked if I had any explosives in the bag because they saw it as shrapnel, right? They were like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh,
if this thing blows up, it'll put holes in everything and people will die because they just seen all the loose change at the bottom of my bag." And they questioned me about it. And man, that was enough to put the fire under my butt. I was so scared. I was like, "Oh my God, no! Please take it all. Take all my money."
oh my gosh. Of course you
Oh gosh, yeah. It was scary. You never know. One time, when I came back from my Europe trip, I bring a hookah back with me and a bunch of cigars, and I
uh-huh.
wasn't sure if I was able to travel with those things. It's U.S. customs. You never know what trouble you're going to run into.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I was leaving, I was actually leaving Ireland with the hookah pipe and this box of cigars that I purchased in London. And as I'm leaving, the custom guy goes, he's like, excuse me, sir, is this yours? And I was like, yeah. I mean, obviously he asked me and he has his accent, but it was
Yeah.
funny. He's like, once I got to double check this. And he calls over like his superior, whoever it was, his manager or something, and he goes, he's like, I stopped him because he has a hubbly bubbly. And I'm standing there. I'm standing there, and I was like, wait a second, hold on, I gotta hear this. And basically, what happens? He whistles over his boss, and he's got a ugly bubbly. He's got a ugly bubbly right here. And he goes, oh, it's ugly bubbly. It's a nice ugly bubbly. And then he's a good size ugly bubbly. It was talking about the size of my hookah pipe, and they said hubbly bubbly like 3 times in a row, and I was dying inside. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing.
Hubbly bubbly.
Yeah.
What is happening in England?
So yeah, I did
Hubbly
make it.
bubbly.
I made it through customs with my hookah pipe and my cigars. But, yeah.
Well, good for you. I brought back dirt from Africa, and I thought they weren't going to let me through with it, but they didn't care.
I did the same thing. I actually stole a part of, interesting, I stole a piece of Abbey Road where the Beatles recorded their
oh my
Abbey
God,
Road.
yeah, you told me you did that.
Yeah. I stole a fork. I stole a fork and a spoon from the place I had lunch that day, and I found out where the studio was. I went there and I actually took that fork and spoon and started chipping away at the road until I got a couple of rocks.
Gosh. Crazy.
Yeah, I even stole some of the dirt from that studio too. I just scooped it up in the spoon and put it in a cup. I taped it up and bring it back.
Where is it?
Well, sad story. Okay, my mom's friend one time my mom's friend needed a place to stay, and so my mom was like, "Well, yeah, you could stay in my son's room for a time," and I just slipped out on the couch.
Okay.
Well, she returned the favor by cleaning my room. And I had this cup of dirt that was from England, and she took that cup of dirt and she tossed it because she thought it was just a cup of dirt. So she tossed out my little bit of Abbey Road that I stole. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
Did you ever say anything?
No, I just couldn't.
Did you say anything to your mom about it?
My mom knows about it.
Oh, what'd she say?
I'm so sorry, mijo. What could she say? She felt bad, she felt bad.
Oh.
I know.
That sucks.
I know.
Well, so that trip to Africa brought me to France and obviously Côte d'Ivoire, which is in Western Africa. But I've also been to Brazil and Guatemala.
Hey.
And other than that, I haven't been to any other countries, but I have been to Alaska and Hawaii.
Nice. Yeah, I know your parents, they had to cancel their trip, right?
Yes, they did. So my parents just celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary. And me and my brother and sister are really proud of them for that. So we went in together to pay for them to go on an Alaskan cruise because my mom has always wanted to see the Northern Lights. And I don't know, it's always a toss-up if you'll be able to see them, even if you go in the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, we paid for whatever, like the deluxe, window balcony room or whatever for them. And it was supposed to be actually just coming up in a couple of weeks in September. But obviously that cruise was canceled due to COVID. But my parents, they got 125% credit for the cruise line.
Hey. That's what I'm talking about.
So I guess really we won, but
when I went on a cruise with my buddies, we went to Mexico on a cruise. We left out of Long Beach. We left out of Long Beach, and we went to Mexico for I think it's 6-7 day cruise. I can't remember exactly, but that's where I got that anchor tattooed on my wrist. It says Cabo 2000. Right. I think that says 15 on there. I can't remember I had to tattoo it.
It does say 15.
2015. Yeah, went on a cruise. I think it's funny because we did the whole entire Titanic thing where we just paid for the cheapest room possible, down with the help.
Right.
We're basically in the basement with the help. We had an obstructed.
That's something I'd do.
See, we paid for the obstructed view. We're like, give us a lifeboat right in front of our window. Our view's obstructed, but there's a lifeboat in front of our window. You know what I'm
saying? Right.
So we've got cheap tickets. 3 of us bunked in this tiny room. Oh my God, it's terrible. Oh gosh, my friend Daniel stayed with me. I never met a more smelly person.
Oh, you're sad.
If you're listening to this, shout out to you, buddy.
You're,
Javier will agree
you're
with me. That room was something else. Javier will 100% agree with me. Anyways, yeah, we talked about a lot of things today. Covered, where we wanted to travel. Covered the whole.
And where we'll travel next. Big Bear and
Yeah.
then Thailand.
Hopefully, yeah. Big Bear and then Thailand. Anyways, yeah, I had a fun time. Thank you for joining my show today.
Yeah, you're welcome. I did it because I love you.
I know that's the only reason why you did it. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff. Talked about Thailand. Talked about places, bucket list places. Talked about some of our own experiences, our experiences with traveling, why we like to travel, mostly because of the food.
But also to learn.
Also to learn, educational purposes. Those are always fun. Yeah, I think it was a good episode. We're about an hour and 15 into it, so I guess I'll just stop talking. Any last words that you want to leave the listeners with before we sign off? You got about 15 seconds.
Oh no. I didn't practice this line. Hi, good morning. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Thanks for listening to my husband. He works really hard on it and he does a good job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Yeah. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. If you guys haven't subscribed, do it now. You can find us on all the popular, most listened to podcast platforms. Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, all those good things. TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube, you name it, we're on it, guys. Once again, thank you very much. Yeah. Bye.